If you want a GT car that's comfortable, sounds great and looks spectacularly gorgeous, you'll struggle to do better than the Aston Martin DB9. The best part is, it's far more than just an object of lust you want to lick in appropriately, because once you've stylishly cruised to your destination and punched a few buttons to firm things up, it's sensational to drive too.
But there is a problem with the DB9, and that problem is it's bloody ancient. In fact, it went into production 12 years ago, and that was a time when phones looked like this. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to play Pokemon Go on that. But that doesn't matter, because they have finally replaced it, and they have replaced it with this, DB11. It's time to forget about the past and look to the future. Quite an imposing looking thing, isn't it? With that massive grille, it kind of looks like it's doing this, and it's clever. You lift this gorgeous front hinge clamshell bonnet, you find this peculiar little device here, and what that does is it extracts high pressure air from the wheel arch, spits it out of this side strake. If we have a look further back, we have this thing called an aeroblade. So air goes down the side of the car, goes into this hole here, and there's some piping that goes down here and down there, pops out here, and you get this sort of spoiler made of air. And there's also a little conventional pop-up electric one there. Very clever, no? It's a clear step up in quality as well. The DB9 had these indicator stalks that felt like they were from a 1995 Ford Fiesta, but everything here, the Aston bits, the Mercedes bits, it's all really nice and really exquisite. Everything's nicely put together and it feels expensive, which is good really, because it costs £155,000.
It's all looking good so far, but there are a few potential causes for concern. Yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I'm just not sure it's as attractive as the old car. Its detailing is, after all, a bit fussy in places. While the DB9 had hydraulic power steering, this has electric, which threatens to rob precious feedback. And you know how much us enthusiasts like our feedback. Most worryingly of all though, it's become a victim of downsizing.
Now that last one is a bit of a worry, because when you try these downsized engines, normally they don't sound as good, they lose a little responsiveness, they just lose a little bit of character. But the thing is, with this new engine from Aston Martin, it's not really that downsized. It's 5.2 litres, which means it's just 700cc smaller than the old one. Because they've kept it quite big still, because it's not that reliant on the turbochargers, it acts a lot like a naturally aspirated engine. So we have, oh, lovely throttle response. I mean, yeah, it's not quite as snappy as the old one, but it's near as damn it. There's hardly anything in the way of turbo lag, and I don't think you need to worry about the noise either. I mean, dare I say it, is that better sounding than the old DB9? It's kind of a more sort of muscular edge to it. I'm astounded at just how good they've managed to make this sound for a turbocharged engine. Because it does have a pair of turbochargers, it's really powerful. We're looking at 600 brake horsepower and 100 pound-foot more torque than you got before. So 0 to 62, 3.9 seconds. Top speed, if you find a nice long stretch of autobahn, 200 miles an hour. And for a turbo engine, this just loves to rev. Peak power doesn't come in until 6,500 RPM, and you can keep going to 7,000 if you want. You don't really need to, but well, you should, because it sounds downright pornographic. From about sort of 3,000 RPM and up, it gets really exciting, this thing, really quick. This isn't just having your cake and eating it, this is you stuffing your face full and getting your butler to clean up the mess. Now, CT Editor-in-Chief Alex Kirsten couldn't be here today to do his patented exhaust fisting test, but don't worry, because I have an exact replica of his hand right here, and I think we can go for a test of our own. I think that's a pass. Do you think I can expense this? And the steering, it's decent for an electric setup. It's not as good as the old hydraulic one. And yeah, maybe it's a bit light, but it's quick, it's accurate. I don't have any major complaints. What's interesting is they've made this quite a bit softer than the DB9. That was always quite brittle, surprisingly so. It does mean when you're in the tighter corners, it does roll a bit more than you might expect. And there is a little bit of understeer from time to time, which you can rectify with your right foot. But that's fine, because this is supposed to be a GT car. There will be a new Vantage and there will be a new Vanquish. If you want something a bit more hardcore, that's what you're going to go for. I've thought about it long and hard, and there are a few things I don't like about this car. For instance, the indicator noise is kind of a bit weird and muffled. The door pockets aren't really door pockets, they're just these kind of holes. I don't know what you're supposed to do with them because anything you put in them is going to fall out. And then there are the brakes, which maybe could be a bit stronger. But these are all small things. It's not a really flawed car, it's just a tiny few chinks in the armour.
When it comes to Astons of the past, you forgive the crappy switchgear, the naff electrical systems and cramped cabins because, well, cars just don't get much more special than Aston Martins, do they? But the DB11 isn't an Aston you have to make excuses for. It's a stupidly well-rounded GT car, and yes, it feels just as special as it should do.
There we go. There's a tuk-tuk, Mini Phil.